Hi, do you struggle with story or the holidays? My name's Elaine, and I have a quick couple of tips for you, and I just want to brag a little bit. So I teach Captivate the Crowd and Camera speaker training program. I help heart-centered entrepreneurs get comfortable on camera and speak their stories, tell the story of their business. I've helped people with TED Talks and shooting their demos and their big videos and short little Facebook Live videos. I have been a storyteller my whole life, and I love what I do. And what I keep realizing is it is so much more than, yes, I teach on-camera skills. I will help you be more confident. Yes, and all of that is great. And I share in my process about how I grew up performing, but I had to really work at being funny on demand when I became a stand-up comic. And I had to really work on my public speaking, because even though I had been performing, it was very different to speak as myself as a certified life coach and what I did with my clients. So basically what I talk about a lot is a lot of it is skills and practicing and the right kind of practicing and having a good coach or feedback, someone who's helping you as you go along your journey. Yes, talent is important, and I think it can really screw people up sometimes. And so I like to just keep it really simple. I believe that everybody has some inherent talent, which is my next point. I just have to brag for a minute. So I'm taking some people through my Captivate the Crowd speaker training program, and we're working on Facebook Lives, but we work on story in every class because story is everything. And what I love about story is, as human beings, we make these snap judgments, right? It's part of being human. Can I trust this person? We kind of put people in categories like, oh, very nice person, mom, business owner. This person is a wacky artist. It's just part of what our brain does, and it's automatic. We just do that. And what I love about stories is that there's not a human being I have yet to meet who is so much deeper. Like once I start pulling out their story, it's like, and so my theory is that everybody has a story, and when we can take the time to be present with people and to listen, it's mesmerizing. It's amazing what people have been through, what people have conquered, what people have overcome, what people are dealing with. Like, you have no idea. I think there's a quote by somebody I admire that says, don't judge, because everybody is fighting their own fight. So that story of there was this person on the train, and it was a dad and his two young kids, and the kids are going crazy. They're like bouncing off the walls and running around and screaming and yelling and just totally acting out. And the dad is just like, and finally, and everyone's getting really frustrated, and of course they're judging the dad, and somebody finally says, "Sir, your children," and he's like, "Yeah, their mother just died, and I'm in shock, and I don't know what to do." And of course everyone was like, "Oh," that compassion. And it's like, it's human to judge, but most of the time, if we knew people's stories, it's like, wow. And so I just wanted to, so one of my clients had, lots of stuff I won't go into, but pretty intense, horrific things happening by neighbors, happening right under her parents' nose. Things that happen, unfortunately, to a lot of kids. 1 out of 3 for girls and 1 out of 5 for guys. So I'll just leave it at that. But this abuse went on for a year, and then luckily that was okay. And then her mom had a meltdown. And, it was just like a whole series of things, like many, 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 many people go through. And she kept doing her work and getting over stuff. And she has this, she loves to help nonprofits. It's her background. And she's done all this work and she's helped all these people. And to me, one of the things I love about doing live video, it helps you practice speaking about your business and what you do and how you help people. It's much more effective because you can do live video every day if you need to, if you want to, or every other day. Unlike sometimes speaking things, it's like once every, few weeks. I mean, it just depends. For me, I'm a professional speaker. Some weeks I'm out speaking all the time and other weeks nothing. It's just like dating. We won't go there. Anyway, so she has been working with me for just a couple of weeks. And she called me and said, I got a client. And it had been a while. And I'm so happy for her and proud of her. And I know partially that had to do with her confidence. And there's nothing like practicing speaking and talking about your clients and what you do or how you helped people and just practicing and saying it. So many times I would go to these like work on your elevator pitch. And I would go to like an NSA or something and I would work on that and then I would put that to the side and then I'd be doing all these other things, but I would forget about the elevator pitch and then I'd come back to it like a month or 3 later. And it's like, you're not going to get comfortable with something, which is another reason I love live video because it is stage time. It's stage time. It's stage time. So I'm so happy for my client and so proud of all the work she's done. And I know that, when you're able to get complete with your experiences, you can then use that to infuse and inform everything that you do. Compassion, forgiveness, there's so much there. And I want to respect her. I don't want to go too into her story because I want to respect her privacy because that one's pretty like, whoa. But then I do want to share about another one of my clients who is this really fun life coach. And she seems just like this really big, sparkly personality and lots of color and, kind of a fun, crazy haircut. And she was telling me the story the other night and I was like that she had done all this stuff with a CPA firm of all things. And she went to India when she had an infant. And she and her husband just got to travel and do all these crazy things. And I'm like, most people would have been like, I have a baby. Are you kidding? I'm not moving to India for 2 years. But what a sense of adventure. And talk about expanding your world and expanding your life experiences, not to mention your families. And I was just blown away. And I kept thinking, this is such a good story for a keynote, for a TED Talk, to share with your clients and your students. But I guess that's one of the reasons I love story because it's like people go from like 2D to 3D. You hear about somebody's courage and what they had to overcome. And like, that must have been really hard to be a new mom and to be dealing with 500. I mean, she was talking about how they would scale and all these things. And I was just like, whoa. So I can't speak highly enough of working on your story, practicing your story, crafting your story, and getting on camera and getting used to telling your stories. And, you don't have to start off in front of 1 million people. You can start practicing with a speaker buddy. You can start just doing bullets in your, I'm constantly writing notes. I'm constantly like, oh, that reminds me of this, or, oh, and I'm constantly remembering things I forgot. And so, there's lots of ways you can start, but if you're not working on stories, start today because it's everything. It's how we fall in love with people. It's how we get over the wall. Is this person I can trust? Stranger danger? I don't know. I just met them. And then when you can be vulnerable and real and awesome and authentic, it's like, I got to speak at, I spoke a lot this past week. I got to speak in front of, I think, like 35 women in business. And because I am very real and authentic, I then give other people permission to do the same. And we had a blast. And part of that, I think, is like, oh, I can let my hair down, so to speak. I can be real and I'm not going to feel judged. Or if you're judging me, I won't feel it. I don't know, like just, the gift of authenticity. And then I just want to make one other point. The holidays are coming up. And for a lot of people, that means extra to-dos, extra sugar, extra stuff to cram into already busy schedules, and extra stress. And, and some people going home can be really hard. And for some people, they're not going home this year because maybe they lost their last parent, or, you just never know. And so I was counseling one of my clients yesterday, and she's going to be making a big trip, and she's going to be with different family members. So we were kind of strategizing. I'm a life coach too, and boundaries and all that jazz. And we were talking about, how, have you ever had a family member or 5 that you just don't feel that connected with? You're like, okay, so how's the bass fishing going, Uncle Jed? Or, there's this, like, you don't have much in common or whatever. And I said, I think sometimes we feel like we have to perform or impress. And like, oh, I did this year. And there's something wrong with that. But sometimes the biggest gift you can give somebody is to be really present and just to listen. How's it going? What's really going on in your life? How can I help? So many people have the experience of not being heard or listened to or gotten, or like people don't really care. Or, there's a lot of people who've graduated and they're living alone and they're doing their first or second job and they're figuring it out, and it can be incredibly lonely. I also have a lot of friends who are going through the empty nest syndrome, and that can be like, what do I do? I've spent my whole life raising these kids and now they're gone. Who am I married to? So, again, every human being is going through stuff. And I think sometimes when we can go into holiday situations with family or friends or whatever, and try to come from a place of service and like just listening, just granting somebody listening and being present, that is better than any cashmere sweater out there, I think. So those are my 2 cents. I was just inspired to share. I love what my clients are doing. I'm so inspired by them as human beings and coaches. And it's just such an honor to get to coach them and guide them and share my experience, strength, and hope. And so that they can help more people too. Like, that's why we're all here. So thanks for watching. Leave a comment below. I'd love to hear from you. Make sure that you are signed up on my email group list. Go to captivatethecrowd.com. I have tons of cool free trainings and free things to help you with your speaking. And I hope to see you on the screen soon. Bye for now. Bye. Love you. Bye.